Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurora Stefrak and I'm with Translucent Truth Yoga to deliver you the weekly intuitive energy update for the week of January 24th, 2022. So welcome back if you have been here before, and if you have not, welcome to the intuitive energy update. So the way that these work is that every week I put out a video and I'm basically taking in an understanding of different aspects. I'm very eclectic in the way that I deliver my messages, as it's all intuitive and flowing from the heart, really. So if you haven't been here before, then the way that these work is that they work on energy, frequency, and vibration, and so it works on a resonance. So whatever is going on in your world, when you find this video, it is divine timing, and trust that the messages are coming through. So say it's past the week of January 24th, just trust that you were guided to this video, because the messages that are going to come through today are going to help you to hopefully move beyond what it is that you're going through. All right, so I have some singing bowls here that I'm going to play. One of them is the heart and the other is the crown. And I chose these on purpose because I really think that it's important for us to learn to connect to universal energy, right? Which I actually had a friend ask me this week, like, what do you mean when you're saying that? Like, I don't understand. And so I guess to put it in the simplest terms, connecting to universal energy is basically connecting to the infinite flow of energy that we all have access to. And what's kind of happened in our world is that we've been severed off from spirit. We've been severed off from the divine. And actually, the word God has been demonized a lot. And it's not even, it's just not true, okay? And I got a tickle. I got a tickle in my throat as I'm saying this, because I know, like, how fucking controversial this is, and I have to say it anyway, because I'm Translucent Truth Yoga and I'm just here to speak the truth and to bring higher understanding and awareness to everybody that is interested in learning, right? And so kind of what's happened over time is that we've been programmed into this word God, and like it's something outside of us, and like it's something that a man that lives in the cloud, or like Jesus or Buddha even, or anything outside of you. And really these messages got convoluted and really kind of convinced us that we aren't divine and that we are not a part of God, when we really are. We genuinely are. And I think like this week is really about reconnecting back to the divine, reconnecting back to our sovereignty, reconnecting back to our truth. Like there's so much that is going to be happening, and the reason for this is because the external world is not stable anymore, okay? So I'm getting off track here because I'm just channeling information, but the point is, what is universal energy? Universal energy is this energy that we all have access to if we learn to open up our crown chakra, okay? And so our crown chakra is right on the top of our head, and you can just set the intention that you are connecting, right? Or ask for, a connection to start forming, because we're always connected. The illusion is that we are separate, right? And so when we can come into this paradigm of understanding that we're all one, we are all connected, we all come from the same source being God, right? And kind of reprogramming that word. And like, if the word God makes you uncomfortable, then really like understanding why. Like for me, for example, I used to just be like, I'd hear the word God or Jesus or anything like kind of like religious, and I would kind of just turn off, right? I would be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like I just didn't have an interest in that. It's not that I judged it, I had no connection and no understanding, right? And I know that a lot of people, you've grown up in different walls and different parameters in what your beliefs are. And again, it's not a judgment, it's just an awareness, right? It's like bringing an awareness, like what is the truth? And sometimes truth is hard to swallow, right? Sometimes it's like, whoa, I don't actually want to deal with that, so I'm not going to deal with that. But there comes a time where you have to deal with things, right? And so this week you may have things coming up that are really deeply ingrained in you, and And it's just about releasing it. And so when we can connect to this universal energy, we just give it back to source, you know, like that's really what healing is. It's like giving it back to source, okay? Giving it back to God. Like basically we're little messengers here in the world, and we're like out here in this, you know, this illusory separate reality, I'm trying to say illusion, okay? Illusory, I don't know. Anyway, whatever the word is, the illusion of separation, okay? And so what we're doing is we're really just unifying back to our home frequency, back to our divine, right? Back to the parts of ourselves that are perfect. We are perfectly imperfect, and we're only here to learn it. Only evil on the path gets burned. It's a song by Satsang. It's called I Am. So check it out if you want, because it's a super, super uplifting song, and it's a conscious song. And that's the other thing. What kind of music are you listening to? Oh my God, like, see, I can't even, like, this is just, I haven't even played my bowls yet, and I'm trying to explain universal consciousness to you guys. So basically we are connecting more with the divine, we are connecting more with truth, and the farther away from the divine and from truth that you are, the more kind of like scary that this all will seem, because you're not, like, you're in your fear mode, you're worried about certain things, you've been lied to, and you don't know the truth. And so how do you know the truth, right? It's like, it's a feeling, it's a resonance. Like the truth is something that I have seeked my whole life, not even consciously. It's just been something that I have been drawn to, which is why I have all of this knowledge and information now, because I've gone into so many different rabbit holes to kind of collect this knowledge and see like what resonates with me and what doesn't, right? And so that's kind of the path this week of like figuring out like what resonates with you and what doesn't, what feels good in your body and what doesn't. And this goes in all ways, okay? Just have the awareness. Be like, okay, well, if something's coming up that's triggering you, like have this awareness. Why is this coming up? Be curious about it. Connect back to your innocence and your curiosity instead of like getting all fucking tight and freaked out and this and that. It's like, well, wait a minute, why don't we just like sit here and be the observer of what's going on, right? So that's kind of the energy, and that's why I picked the heart and the crown, just because the heart center too, right? This is like our connection to source as well within us, okay? So like this is like our connection to source, like above us, all around us, but this is our connection to source within us, right? So as we purify our heart, as we learn like what trauma, what pain is in your heart. Last week I did a really deep purge for my heart center. Like I haven't cried in a long time, and I just gave myself the space. Like I woke up one morning and I was really in my shit, and I was like, okay, Aurora, like this is the time, this is the work, I gotta sit here, I gotta figure out what's going on. And it was the smallest of things too, like not only the small things, like there was other things that were affecting me as well, especially the collective too, okay? So like the collective holds so much pain and so much suffering, and so not only do we feel our own personal pain and suffering, we also feel the entire collectives, okay? So some days, if you're not feeling good, if you're like, what is going on? Like, be gentle with yourself, like, be slow with yourself, learn to listen, learn to connect to your heart, learn to connect to gratitude, learn to breathe, okay? Like, first thing is like, learn to breathe, you know? Connect back to your body. Like, breath is life. So the one tool that you always have with you, if you are alive, you could be stranded in a desert, you could be anywhere, and you have your breath, and that is what connects you back to source, okay? So utilizing this tool is really, really powerful as you're going through this, right? So let's do it. Let's play the bowls. I'm gonna shut up for 1 minute, and we're just gonna sit here, and we're just gonna allow for the bowls to clear our field, to open up our crown chakra here to the universal divine energy of pure love, of pure source consciousness. And as we open up our crown to this energy, it activates our heart, okay? Because we are activated into so that means that you will be holding certain soul fragments in your heart that you're being ready to release. And allowing in this higher energy is going to help to transmute it, okay? So I'm going to stop talking now. Okay. So, severing past lifetime vows, this is what's coming through right now, and I think it's really, really important to touch on. So, you have carried trauma from lifetimes into this lifetime, and there may be certain things you don't understand, and you think, why the fuck is this happening? What is going on? So you can actually do your own healing through your own word, through your own vibration of activating this throat chakra, of communication, of understanding, realizing your sovereignty, and choosing to sever the ties. Okay, so this is very heart and crown energy, because it's like, you know what? All you need to do, you could have a vow of poverty, you could have a vow of toxic relationships, you can have whatever. Somebody could have put something on you in a past life which is still blocking you, which still has power over you, and you have the power to null and void that. So basically what you want to say is that I release all contracts, I null and void all contracts that are keeping me anchored into lower consciousness. So let's say that again. I release, null and void all contracts that are keeping me locked into lower consciousness. Okay, lower consciousness meaning fear, worry, lack, anxiety, anything where you feel blocked, where you feel stagnated. You can say, hey, I release all contracts that are not in alignment with my ascension path any longer. I release anything that is not serving me. I release, I release, I release. Thank you, honor it, and move forward. And doing this as a practice will help you to clear your field every day. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning, if you are having financial problems, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to connect to gratitude. I'm going to be grateful every time that money comes into my hands and when money leaves my hands, because this is creating a flow. If you are resisting money leaving your hands, then you are creating this discord energy, because it just is, okay? You're creating this discord energy of like, I guess I gotta do that. I guess I gotta do that. I guess I gotta do that. Right? And like, instead you can be like, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that I can pay my bills. I'm so grateful. Instead of feeling like, oh, all my money just goes to bills and like being pessimistic and being negative about it. It's like, you know what? I'm so grateful that I have the money to pay my bills, right? And if you don't have the money, this is where too you can clear your field. You can say, you know what, I release, null and void and clear all contracts that are stopping me from my abundance, from my flow of abundance, and I call in my flow of abundance. Okay, and so you can use your words, they're very, very powerful, to clear out any soul contracts, anything that is keeping you stuck where you are. Okay, so that was kind of just what came through while I was playing the bowls. Okay, so having that awareness, as you're moving through this week, like, you know what, if something's bothering you, if something's upsetting you, it's like, you know what, ask for help, call in the universal energy, connect to your heart, connect your crown up to your higher self and say, hey, higher self, I'd really like some help. And when I say higher self, I just mean like your soul, your higher self, this higher perspective. It doesn't even need to mean your soul, because say you're in a certain situation and you can't seem to like figure out how to get out of the situation, or you feel really stuck, or you feel really trapped, then it's like, hey, I call in any energies that is going to help me to rise above this situation, to rise above this problem, so that I can move past this. I'd really like to move past this. So please send me all the healing energy, work with the archangels, call in your spirit guides, call in, and this is that universal energy too, right? So how do I define it? There's so many ways to define it, right? That's why I kind of beat around the bush and go up, down, and all around, because it's like, well, shit, like it's kind of hard to put it into like words, you know, into a language, right? And so that's why I just bring it back to realizing that we are one, understanding that we are one. I am you and you are me. I'm just a reflection of you and you're just a reflection of me, because we all come from the same source, right? So that was a really beautiful way to begin. So let's see what I have written here. There's a couple things. Excuse me. There's a couple things I want to talk about right off the hop, and they're astrology related. So the first thing is that this is the last week of Venus retrograde. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure Venus is like, you know, the divine feminine energy. And if it's in retrograde, then that means that basically we've been having to process a lot of our emotions. It's like very heart-centered energy, but just because I say heart-centered, it doesn't mean it's like a healing energy. It means like you could have been in a lot of pain. You could have been, you know, really in your shit this week and really like questioning like, what is life, what is real, what is important, what is going on, like really having some real like dark night of the soul awakening energy, right? Our depression is awakening, and what happens is, because it's like you're birthing a new consciousness through to a new reality, so you'll feel that depressive energy. It's like when a baby is coming through into this world, it has to be like fucking pushed through a vagina, like a really tight space, and then fucking that's not comfortable, and then you come through and it's like, oh god, that feels so much better. But then now you're not in your mom's womb anymore, and now you're out in this separate reality, and you're like, what? And then you're crying and you're like, I don't like it, it's cold, put me back into the warmth, what's going on, what is the sensation I'm feeling, what is all this going on, right? So it's like the same thing in understanding birthing consciousness into a higher reality, right? And so everything is an analogy for everything, okay? So it's like when we're birthing ourselves into this higher awareness, we will feel depressed. We will feel like we're going through this really, 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 really tight squeeze. But it's just about nurturing yourself in that space, and it's about saying, okay, you know what? I'm feeling depressed. I'm in my shit. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to help myself. So ask, how can I help myself? Like, you know, again, it could be simple. It could be like, you need to eat. You need to fucking sleep. You need to start taking care of your physical body, because your physical body's depleted, which then that affects your mental activity, right? And so it's just asking, and it's just about being open to being guided, right? So I have no idea what I was just talking about. I just drew a blank. Oh, Venus retrograde. Okay, perfect. So basically, yeah, so this is the last week that we're in this Venus retrograde. So meaning that we are deep purging into the divine feminine energy right now, okay? So whatever it is that's going on in your world, this is all coming up to be released, okay? So just give it back to source. You can legit just say, I give all my pain and suffering back to source, because all we're doing is like little messengers here in like the human collective consciousness, and we're evolving. So what happens is that we can connect back to source, this universal consciousness. We can give our pain and suffering back. We can say, thank you so much. What a crazy fucking ride. Now I want to be healed. I want to be centered. I want to be in harmony. I want to be in balance. And the time was just 2020, and then 2022, as I was saying, 2020. So like, this is big awakening energy this year, guys. Like, it's going to be painful. It's going to be a lot to deal with. If you do not understand the darkness of reality and the darkness of this world, then it is going to hurt. It is going to be painful to realize and to wake up to the world, you know, like it is really, really intense. And I hold so much deep compassion, love, and understanding for anybody that is in fear right now, for anybody that does not know what is happening, for anybody that is just starting to awaken to kind of the darkness of the collective of humanity, okay? And it's not about judging them, okay? This is a heart-centered energy. So redefining that word God, like God right now in the collective is very connected to judgment, right? And like, you're born a sinner, like you're born pure, but you're also born a sinner. That's what my friend was telling me the other day, that like the Bible teaches you, which I don't understand, but whatever. I do actually understand it, because they're wanting to create this confusion within your body, okay? So within your mind, within your spirit, where it's like, well, wait a minute, I'm perfect, but I was also born a sinner. And then they merge it together, and then they say, okay, God's going to judge you because you're a sinner. And it's like, what do you mean? I was made in the perfect image of God. Like, how can I also be a sinner? So it's just like this confusion energy to keep you locked into lower consciousness, okay? And so that's what we're breaking out of this week. It's like, no, I'm going to connect to my truth. I'm going to connect to the truth, which is that you are divine. You are connected to the divine. The only thing that is severing your connection to the divine is the fact that your connection is severed to the divine. And all you need to do is reconnect that. Okay, so it's just reconnecting, which is just realizing who you are, what is going on in this world, what is it to be separate and what is it to be unified. We live in duality and polarity, and what that means is that we do have to have the dark and we do have to have the light. The light will not obliterate the dark. The light just sees the dark. The light says, hi dark, I love you. I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. Now let me love you and bring you back to wholeness, which is, you are me, I am you. So let's merge this back together, right? And again, that's that masculine and feminine energy, right? In harmony and in balance, is having that dark and that light. You know, like me as a light worker, I'm actually technically really like a shadow worker, right? Because, and all of you that are doing all of this work, it's like, yes, we work for the light, but the darkness works for the light too, right? Because we are all one. We are all this universal consciousness, right? So having these realizations, understanding deeper and deeper into the fabric of reality of like, what is this place, right? Like when you go into quantum physics, things start getting all weird and warped and quirky, if you know what I'm saying. But there is no real solid reality that we're living in, right? It's like, what is the difference between reality and a hallucination? And if you look into this and you learn about this, the only difference between reality and a hallucination is that there is a mass consensus, which means that everybody just agrees that that's what reality is. So that's kind of what's happening right now in our world. And that's why like there's this big split between people that are on this one path of believing in the government, trusting in the government, feeling like they're loved and supported by the government for some reason. And then the other ones that are like, fuck the government, like no way, like they're not going to do that to me. You're not taking away my autonomy. You're not taking away my sovereignty. You're not taking away my free will. You're not taking away my choice. You just can't do that, right? And so there's this big split and this big divide, because there's also people that have cognitive dissonance, which is this defense mechanism within our body. When we can't actually process information, we go into this split basically, and then it's like we can't go there mentally. We can't, like, wait a minute, what do you mean my government doesn't care about me? What do you mean they don't love me? What do you mean they don't have the highest fucking good for me? Well, I mean, honestly, if you look out in the world, it's pretty obvious, you know? And that is the whole point of all of this, right? Is that humanity's awakening, and that's all that it is. And the only reason that the world looks so fucking dark right now and so fucking intense is because it's been that fucking dark and intense the whole time. We have just had a veil over ourselves, right? Like when they burnt the witches at the stake, this was all a part. When they killed Jesus, when they do all of these crazy things, like kill the healers, kill the ones that are working for the light, and then we're gonna just take over. Come and tell us all your sins so that I can have power and control over you and work with your wounds and manipulate you and have power and control over you, your livelihood, your family, your thoughts. Like, there's people that can't fucking think certain thoughts, okay? Because they will be doomed by their God, okay? And it's like, you know what? Like, we are null and voiding that. Like, that is just absolutely fucking insane. And so this is the energy that we're stepping into, okay? This is the truth energy. And I apologize if I'm triggering you, but you're probably interested and intrigued with what I'm saying if you're 26 minutes in, right? So it's like we are awakening to these higher aspects of reality, meaning that we live in an abundant universe. We are love. Like, you don't go out and look for love. You are love. So you have to learn to love yourself. You have to learn to redirect that energy back into yourself, back into your own vessel. This is why I bring up eating and nutrition and, you know, like sleep and all the basic foundational nurturing aspects of the physical body. And then once we can do that, then we can focus on the mind, okay? And then once we do that and those are harmonized, when the heart and the head are in coherence and in balance, then you're fully connected, right? And you're fully in the present moment, right? Because you're not thinking about the past, you're not worried about the future, you're able to just live from this place, right, of pure bliss. Like, that is our natural state, is bliss, right? So when you look out into the world and it breaks your fucking heart, go within that. Ask yourself, why is this affecting me so much? And then come to terms with it, understand it, realize, wait a minute, like, I have a fucking responsibility in this lifetime to really step up, to really speak my truth, because if we don't, who the fuck's going to, right? And so that's really like this energy this week. This is why I haven't even really looked at my notes, and I'm still trying to talk about Venus retrograde, but apparently I'm not meant to read my notes today. So and this is the beauty of intuition and just trusting yourself and trusting myself and what's kind of flowing through me, right? Because this is perfect, because it's like the crown is open and the heart is connected and I'm able to just flow, right? But yeah, so like really understanding like the truth of our reality, okay? And it's really intense, and I hold immense space and immense fucking compassion for anybody that's suffering, you know? Like, we all suffer. We're all, like, if you're in a human body, you're suffering. If you're in a human body, you have trauma. If you're in a human body, then you have healing to do, right? Like, these are not just like, oh, this or that or whatever. No, like, we all have soul contracts. We all have reincarnated here many times, even from all over galaxies, all over universes, multiverses, you know? Like, it's so much bigger than what we have been told that the world is, you know? And so coming out of that and awakening out of that, it is huge. Like, it is terrifying. And I give kudos to every single person that chooses this path, because it almost makes me cry right now just talking about it, because like, it is not for the faint-hearted, you know? And you obviously already have past lives that you've experienced pain, suffering, trauma, you know, even people turning their back on you, people being deceitful, people lying to you, people, you know, when you're pure source consciousness and you come into this reality of duality and polarity and darkness and shadow, it's like really confusing. It's like, well, wait a minute, why is this happening? Like, what's going on, right? And so we're learning to basically heal ourselves, reclaim these fractal aspects. And I put my hands over my heart intuitively because that's what it is. We're healing our heart. Everything that has happened, every word that has been said about you in a negative way, like, this is how powerful we are, guys. Like, we hold this within our being. We can say one thing and it ripples out into the entire universe and beyond, right? Like, you got to realize your power. And that's the whole thing here, is that waking up to these things, these realizations, it is to empower you. It is not to disempower you. Like, you have to know the truth. If you don't understand that, you know, there's all this darkness that is having power and control over humanity, how are you supposed to come out of that? How are we supposed to break free from that? How are we supposed to liberate ourselves from that if we're just going to pretend like everything's okay and put up that block mentally in our mind saying, no, it's good, everything's going to be fine, it's going to be fine, it's okay. It's like, yeah, but then you're in denial of reality, and then you're being delusional, and then what happens is that they have power and control because you're still in illusion. You're still in, I want to say anyway, whatever my words are, you're still in illusion, right? And so what happens is we're breaking out of that illusion, right? So that is the whole thing. That's why it's like the depression is the awakening. The depression is like, wait a minute, why am I so fucked up? What is happening? What happened to me to make me feel this deep fucking intense pain and suffering, right? Like, what has happened to you that has caused you to feel that way, right? And so this is the healing journey. This is the healing path, right? Like, you hold trauma in your cellular memory, in your DNA, okay? And by the way, these vaccines are not vaccines. They are fucking mRNA inhibitors. And what that means is that basically your DNA is reproduced by RNA. So what that means is that RNA is the code for your DNA to be reproduced. And what they're doing is they're putting in basically this this inorganic template into our bodies here, and transcribing new DNA within our bodies, and then our bodies are like, what is this? This is a foreign object, and then it's going to start attacking itself. But anyway, that's a whole rabbit hole, and I'm going to shut the fuck up right now and not even talk more about that. I'm just saying that there are lies, that things are not being truthful right now, and that if what I'm saying is triggering you, I'm really sorry, but it is the truth, and it's not always easy to swallow, right? So anyway, I'm going to digress right there because I got to be careful sometimes of what I'm saying, because I'm just in my safe space right now, channeling information. My heart is open, and all of this is for the highest good of all. Nothing here that I'm saying is to hurt anybody. Like, that is the thing, right? Is that, like, when we have connection to this universal source energy and our heart is pure and clean, then we are just here to be of service, right? Like, I am just here to be of service. I am here to guide you through whatever it is that you're going through mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever it is, however I can help and be of service, that's what I'm here for, right? So when I'm saying these things, if they are like hurting you, then my apologies, but this is part of the awakening. It is a painful process, and it's like sitting with that and kind of going deeper into that and asking yourself, anything outside of you, like me, if I'm outside of you and I'm triggering something within you, then there's something within you that needs to be healed. That's all that is, right? So don't be afraid of pain. Don't be afraid of suffering. Give compassion, give love, be that fucking oracle, be that light energy, be that love, be that higher frequency, be that higher consciousness. If you're used to people kind of like being negative all the time, one, stop fucking engaging with them, and two, just bring kindness to yourself. Say, okay, fine, I'm gonna bring love to myself by not engaging with these people anymore, and creating these energetic boundaries and these mental boundaries and these emotional boundaries. Like, don't let people siphon your energy. Like, you are a very powerful being, and when you're being drained all the time by worry, fear, deceit, all these things, then you are not able to replenish and nourish yourself, right? You're not even able to be present, right? So it's like, that is the whole point of all of this, is so that we're able to transmute the shadow. Like, I can't help you guys process and understand what's going on if you don't want to know the truth, right? And that's just the thing. And that's why my business name is Translucent Truth Yoga, right? Because it's like yoga actually means union, right? So it's like we're unifying back with the truth. We're unifying back with transparency, with authenticity, with integrity, right? I'm gonna put this up because bad angle. Right? So it's like this is painful information to process, and fortunately for me, I got to kind of learn a lot about all of this kind of dark side of humanity through, like, you know, very gentle, you know, ways to wake me up to what's going on. But that didn't mean that it didn't hurt. That didn't mean I didn't cry about it. That didn't mean I think, oh my God, like, poor fucking humans. Like, I have cried for humans so many times because it is just so fucking painful. Like, it's like, wow, like, all of this for what? So that these freaking dark energies can have power and control over us. But then it's like, I also have the higher perspective of the fact that all is divine and that the darkness is us. So how can we say that the darkness, you know, is like this and that and whatever? It's like whatever we're projecting out into the world is actually what we need to heal, right? So there could be like certain aspects of yourself that you're reclaiming as well as learning about this, right? Like, so for example, like if you're learning about I don't know, satanic sex rituals that all of these dark energies do, and you have trauma in say you were sexually abused as a child, right? So like this could be hand in hand with your own healing is what I'm trying to say, right? So it's like, it's not always like what's going on outside in the big picture. It's really about what's going on inside of you, right? All right. Yeah, I'm not reading anything. The only thing I want to mention is that we're also in the midway point of Mercury retrograde, okay? And Mercury retrograde is all about communication being disrupted, okay? So whether that be your own emotions coming up that are communicating with you, that are perturbing you, that are like, why the fuck am I feeling so fucked right now? Mercury is in retrograde, and this brings up a lot of our shadow self, a lot of our darkness, okay? And so when this happens, we have to have certain tools that are going to help us move through it. So for example, when I was in my shit the other day, I cried and I cried. I was actually screaming at my steering wheel while I was driving. I was like, because I was like, I just needed to let it out of me. Like, I don't need to know what this is. I don't need to know what I'm feeling. I don't need to know all the details. All I need to do is like get it the fuck out of me. Like, just release it, clear it, purge it, cry it out, release it. And as you do that, you get kind of like downloads, information, understandings as to what it is that you're purging, right? Like, even there was an interaction that I had with a person the other day, and it was like they were really rude to me, like for no reason, and I was like, I'm kind of sassy. Like, if you're gonna be rude to me, I'm gonna be kind of sassy back, right? And so like that was even held in my heart, right? It was just one moment, one little interaction, and I realized, I was like, oh my God, like that's been in my heart. Like that's what I'm crying for right now too, like on top of feeling everybody else's stuff, right? So being aware of an empath as well. What is an empath? Start looking into what it is to be an empath. An empath is like, we're all empaths, okay? From, you know, varying degrees. Some of us feel everything. Some of us feel something. Some of us sometimes feel things. Some of us can't feel anything at all, right? But that just because you can't feel anything at all, it just means you're just shut off from that connection, right? Severed from that connection of feeling, right? Or you're so connected that you don't even fucking know where the line is between me and everything else, right? Like that separation. So then you have to learn how to separate. Like if you feel too much, you have to learn to separate. And if you don't feel enough, then you have to learn to connect, right? And so it's just about really understanding like where you're at on your path, okay? So for the rest of this month, we're going to be in Mercury retrograde. Healing codependencies here. I'll read it off real quick. So healing codependencies is a really big thing that's going on right now. Taking our power back. The separation illusion is dissolving. So you know, even within the structure that's been created right now, it's dissolving. People are starting to speak up. People are starting to say, yo, like, this ain't gonna work for me. I'm not gonna live my life like this. It's so fucking obvious in my face that I can't deny it anymore. And then we have healing the emotional body, okay? So this is past life in childhood trauma, right? And when I say really childhood trauma, yes and no, it's just any trauma in this lifetime. So past lifetimes as well as trauma in this lifetime. And that's why you're going to be feeling so much, okay? So, and that's why I say don't get attached to anything coming up. Allow it to come up, release it. Allow it to come up, release it. Journaling is really, really powerful as well as you're going through this journey, so that you can just automatic write, which means that you don't really have any reason to go and write. You just start writing. Like, you just start getting it out of you. What's on your mind? What's in your heart? What's going on, right? And you can start asking yourself questions. Look, it looks like I just burst myself. So yeah, start asking yourself questions. So we're healing the emotional body right now, right? And then we are releasing suppression, scarcity, and lack that has kept us slaves. So we're breaking free from this paradigm. Okay, well, this all makes sense now as to why I got so freaking deep real quick, because I forgot all this stuff that I had written down earlier, and it's like, okay, perfect, that's why, because I'm kind of just recapping it, right? So we are releasing suppression, scarcity, and lack that has kept us a slave. Like, we have been slaves, guys. So waking up to that is not easy. Waking up to that while you're in it is not easy, right? And it's very, very painful, because it's like basically like for lack of a better word, rape, okay, guys? Like, we have been raped, like, as a humanity. The earth has been raped. Like, look at the earth. She has her own ascension path as well, and she's here to support us, to hold us. And that's the other thing, is that you can give your pain back to Mother Gaia, back to the earth, and you can, like, just fucking put your hands on the ground and feel the energy, feel the connection, feel the pain leaving out through the palms of your hands. Your hands are extensions of your heart, and so when you purge out of that, you just feel the energy. Just set the intention that I'm releasing all pain and suffering, and then put your hands on the ground. Go connect to a tree. Go connect, pick up some snow. I don't know, like, do something. Listen to your intuition. Like, hey, intuition, what weird hippie thing am I going to do today to heal myself, okay? And just follow that path. Okay, and then the original feminine divine blueprint is activating, okay? And so that's why all this is happening, because when I talk about the witches being burned at the stake and Jesus being crucified and all these things, this is the light energy, okay? This is the light energy being attacked by the dark energy. And so the dark will attack the light to keep the light suppressed so that it cannot grow and evolve, and it can stay within the confinements of what is comfortable, of the power and control dynamics that are existing and that have been existing for all of humanity. And so what's really been happening is we've been suppressing the divine feminine, okay? And that includes spirit. Spirit is the divine feminine, as are women, obviously, right? And so women have been suppressed. We live in a very patriarchal society, and this is also all part of greater cycles. So none of this is to blame shift. None of this is just bringing awareness, because this is all needed to happen for humanity to evolve to wherever we're going, okay? And so what happens is that we have such a great capacity to love, which means we have such a great capacity to hate, because there's this duality and polarity that we live in. So if we can love this much, then we can hate this much, and vice versa. If we can hate this much, then we can love this much. And it's about coming into this place of neutrality within the heart center, right? The heart center is neutrality, because it isn't judgment. You're not judging, you're unconditional, you're love, right? And so when you can come from that place, then you're able to just be the observer, be the ultimate observer of reality, of your reality, and you're not triggered all the time, right? So the original feminine divine blueprints are being activated. We're breaking free from the matrix, which is the suppressed feminine. And this feminine energy, like, if you know Kali Ma energy, like, Kali Ma energy is vicious. But, excuse me, but it is of service for the highest good of all. So she's actually the ultimate protector. Okay, so she wears this like necklace of severed heads that she's cut off people, the evil in the world. So she basically slays the evil to protect the purity, so that, you know, whatever species, whatever consciousness can move forward in a healthy way. Like, because you have to have the creative force, you have the destructive force, and then you have that protection force as well. Okay, so we're breaking free from the matrix. The veils of illusions are being released. And this is on a macro level and a micro level, okay? So when I say the veils of illusions are being released, I already kind of went into all of that, so that you can understand. And this is happening on the micro as well as the macro. So in our own personal lives, like right here, what's going on when you are living your life, but also on the collective level. So all structures, like even the schooling system, the churches, the government systems, the way that we've kind of lived our lives and what's become normal, like we're breaking out of this. It is falling, and this is the awakening, right? And that's why it feels so painful, and that's why it is so painful, because it's like not only are we like, I talked to this one girl the other day, and she felt as though we were on this one track path to death and doom and gloom. And I said, no, like if anything, we are awakening. And I started talking about the Kali Yuga cycles and the precession of the equinox, and being able to go back and understand these even greater cycles beyond just like, you know, like a yearly cycle or the astrology cycle, in like these small little micro understandings. We got to go beyond that and realize we're coming out of the dark ages right now, okay? And we're entering into the golden era. And so what that means is that we are going to be spiritually connected. We are supported by the whole fucking universe. And this dark energy has no real power and control unless we give it to them. And so that's why we have to have the awareness, take it in, transmute it, and realize, wait a minute, this dark energy just wants to be loved and seen too. Right? And of course, we're not going to get there right away. You got to go through the grief cycle. You got to be in denial. You got to be disconnected. Actually, let me grab that real quick. I wrote that down. Yeah, talking about the grief cycle, okay? So being in denial, avoidance, confusion, shock, fear, and then there's anger. So the frustration, the irritability, the anxiety, the fuck you. How could you fucking do that? Like, how dare you do that? And I got my hand over my solar plexus as I'm saying this, because it's our power center, right? And then we have bargaining. So like struggling to find meaning, reaching out to others, telling your story, trying to change the story, trying to be like, no way, like you really think this is happening? No, I can't believe it. Like going into shock, different things like that. And then we have depression. And so this is like an overwhelm, this helplessness, hostility, and then flight. So running away, not wanting to be here, escaping reality. And then we have acceptance, okay? And this is basically acknowledging, okay, I surrender to what is. I can handle this. I signed up for this. This is on a soul level. I have contractually agreed to come here and to help humanity to break free from all of their pain, all of their suffering, all of their limitations, so that we can actually live in this beautiful heaven on earth that we all talk about and all would love to live, right? It does take work, right? So then there's the acceptance, and these are not chronological. These come and go. Grief comes in waves, okay? And that's why you just have to be gentle with yourself. And then there's the expansion and the contraction energy. So the contraction energy is when we go in on ourselves, right? And we go within. And when I was not okay the other day, I made a little spot in my shop here, and I put my pillow down. I had my blanket. I was laying in fetal position, just like crying, put on a meditation so that I can release what's not serving me anymore and just allow for the universe to do what it needs to do, right? And so we have that expansion and the contraction energy. So it's like sometimes we're in that contraction. Sometimes we need to be more gentle. We need to be more sensitive. We've got to take care of ourselves. And then the result of that is the expansion, when we get to go beyond and go and just enjoy and be in our bliss, right? And so when we're in that contraction, give yourself that space to be in the contraction, right? And then the other thing I'm being guided to is like, do you tend to resist change or embrace it? Okay, because change is a constant. Change is the only constant. So you're constantly, it's like a breath. Okay, so you're breathing in, you're breathing out. So as you breathe out, everything contracts. As you breathe in, everything expands, right? So breathe out, contract, breathe in, expand. And doing that will move the energy through you, okay? Because stagnated energy, as you're inhaling, you're actually inhaling chi, energy, life force energy, and it helps to move the energy in your body, and then you're connecting to this flow, right? Because when you're depressed and you're stagnated, then you're stuck in this energy. And so then when you're in that energy, you just need to be in that energy. And if you're resisting it, then it's not going to be enjoyable. I mean, it's not going to be enjoyable anyway, but it's going to be even more, you're inflicting more pain and more suffering if you don't just acknowledge and accept and surrender. Okay, I'm in my contraction right now. What do I need? How can I get through this? I'm going to get through this. I know I'm going to get through this. How can I get through this? And embrace it instead of constantly trying to run away from your sadness, from your anger, from your frustration, from your confusion, from all this. Instead, be like, hey, why are you sad? Why are you confused? Why are you angry? What's going on in your little world? You know, look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself and say, hey, what's up, girl? What's up, man? Like, how's it going? Like, I need some fucking TLC and I need to give it to myself, right? Okay, and if you want to know more of the grief cycle, you can just look it up. Just start learning about the grief cycle and understanding like how grieving works, because grieving is not just one big thing. Like, it's not just big things that are happening. It's like the small things as well, right? Okay, so important now is connect to your breath and connect to gratitude. So where your focus goes, your energy flows. So if you're worrying and you're in fear, then you're going to start manifesting and attracting and seeing more worry and more fear. If you're in gratitude and you're in this heart-centered space, you have more heart-centered experiences. Okay, so we're in this very deep grief and awakening energies, and this is because the divine feminine is finally being liberated. We're finally able to speak, like even just me right now making this video and putting it out into the world, you know, like we are in this energy where we are safe now, we are protected, and not everybody is in the world, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I am, you are in this lifetime now, right? Because we have so much support in the spiritual realms. Like, we are the brave ones that came and incarnated as humans. Like, this is fucking intense, yo. Like, the ones that are in the spiritual realms are up there having a party saying, thank you so much, thank you for doing this, I did not want to do this, I did not want to go down there, and I did not want to help humanity heal and rise above. Like, you are so powerful in what you have the capacity to do. Like, who knows where your soul is from? I don't, but you can learn and you can find out and you can start navigating as you heal yourself, right? So that's the whole idea of this. And then the last thing I want to say is, if you do not feel love around you, it is because you must realize that you are love. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time because it's so important. If you do not feel love around you, it is because you must realize that you are love. Okay, and that's what Namaste is all about, as the divine in me honors the divine in you, and that we are one. Namaste. Right? We all say these things. Do we really know what they mean? And that's the thing for me, is like, I want everybody to know what everything means. I want to know why you're saying what you're saying. Where did these words come from? Breaking down words even, and understanding the origins of these words and what they mean, and not only what they mean, but what do they mean to you? What have you been programmed to believe words to mean, right? Like, this whole little trick on mandating shit is like, these are not laws. These are not... Anyway, whatever. All right. Let's pull from this energy oracle deck here. I'll show you guys the energy oracle deck. Ooh, envy. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. That's a very interesting energy. So envy and jealousy, okay? So clearing that out, because if you are envious of anybody, if you are jealous of anybody, the work that needs to be done is that you have to go to your solar plexus, your self-worth. Why do I not feel good enough to have whatever it is that I am jealous of, that I am envious of, right? So going deeper into that, and let me see, what does the book say? Curious. Lack and dissatisfaction. So this card shows a woman holding a huge pearl in one hand and a platter of coins and pearls in the other. She stands in a silver room looking out at a golden city on the horizon. She has a life of value already, but she ignores that and longs for the shining prosperity she sees elsewhere. Instead of feeling happy and fulfilled, her desires for more only causes a deep sense of lack and dissatisfaction, and that energy shows in her dress. This card upright is telling you to let go of jealousy and acknowledge the blessings you already have in your life. Now is the time to shift your focus. After all, when you envy others, it only attracts more to them, not you. Notice all that you have and thank the universe for it. If this card is near the appreciation card in your spread, the message is doubly important. No, now is the time to move from a consciousness of lack to one of value. With this shift, all things change. So the affirmation that you can say or write down, and it was just 5543, is I let go of lack. I look at the blessings in my life with joy and satisfaction. I am glad. Okay? So that kind of brings back into what I was saying about, like, whatever you're putting out to the universe is what you're going to get back. And that's why it's so important this week to really connect to gratitude for your own personal life, for things that are in your life, for the people in your life, for the connections in your life, for the situations in your life, even the shitty shit, okay? Because the shitty shit is teaching you so much, okay? And so it's just about kind of connecting in strategy here too, right? So like, what's your strategy? What are you doing? What's your purpose? What's your intention? Like, get into coming up with something strategic to, it's like you may finally be ready to heal certain aspects of yourself. So it's like, okay, I'm ready to heal certain aspects of myself. What's your strategy to actually do that, right? And one of them could be, I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to be grateful, and I'm going to stop looking at other people and comparing myself, and I'm going to really do my inner work, and I'm really going to go within, and I'm going to say, hey, bitching and moaning about everything happening in the world is not doing anything except feeding into that fucking crazy energy. Instead, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to learn how to meditate, and I'm going to learn how to put all of these amazing, beautiful frequencies out into the world. And then what happens is that all of us light beings create this beautiful fucking organic template of light, and then we anchor it in, and then we create our own web of energy, because that's what this dark energy has done. It's created a web over humanity to suffocate them and keep them locked in. And so we're breaking out of that with each thing that we sit there and choose to love instead of hate, okay? And then we had financial constraints, and it's reversed, okay? So this is confirmation here to say, hey, you're limiting yourself. If you are in any situation, and hey, don't get me wrong, like, I'm human too. I got my own shit. It's just I'm here channeling higher consciousness and not here to talk about me, right? So this is confirmation for me as well, that we're breaking free from our financial constraints, or we're placing them in front of us because of our beliefs, because of our worries, because of our fears, okay? You need to get more creative. Connect into your creative energy instead of being like, oh no, my life's over, I can't get more hours at work, or I got fired from work. It's like, no, you're being redirected by spirit. You're being rerouted. You're going on a new path. You're going on a new adventure, right? You're rewriting that story. So understand that, you're either limiting yourself, like what's going on outside of you is a reflection of your internal world. So if you're struggling financially, mentally, emotionally, whatever, if things keep coming up, it's because you keep manifesting that. So that's why we heal the subconscious mind. That's why we go into these deeper layers of ourselves and understand, like, what is my programming? All it is awareness. Awareness is the power, okay? So when we have awareness of certain programming within us, then we can easily release it. Hey, appreciation. That's this card was saying that if it's with appreciation. So there it is, appreciation coming through, guys. Okay, so we're shifting. We're coming out of this and entering into this, being grateful for this beautiful situation. I kind of got a chuckle because I realized, you know what a beautiful way to wake humanity up. Like, we're not really, like, we don't have bombs everywhere. We're not fucking, you know, in the thick of it. Like, we get to just live our lives as we would, but we're actually just choosing different now instead of what we've always done, right? So it really is a beautiful way, the most, like, pure and innocent way that, you know, humanity could have been awakened. And then action, be aware of what you're taking action on, right? Again, coming back to gratitude, coming back to abundance or lack mentality, right? And then contract, yay, we're breaking free from contract. So this is like the upright and we got it reversed, okay, guys? So this is confirmation that what I said earlier, you have the power to break your contracts, okay? It's about going in and just declaring, stating, commanding, hey, this is severed. I do not want to fucking live this way anymore. I'm severing my tie. I'm releasing all vows of poverty. I'm releasing all entities that have attached to me in any lifetime. You do not have power over me. You do not have power over me. You do not have power over me. I release all binds that have kept me limited in my ability to heal, in my ability to connect to the divine, in my ability to just fucking be in my bliss, okay? I release all contracts. Like, you have the power to do that. And then anxiety comes out and you don't believe it, and that's okay. And that's where the work needs to be done, okay? Like, hey, I haven't always been this empowered fucking person. I've been in my own shit most of my life, but now I'm like in a place. I've been preparing for this not only in this lifetime for like at least 7 years, but lifetimes, guys, lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And then door to romance, perfect. And there you go. So they're like, talk about relationships too. Okay, so it's the same thing, whether we're talking money, whether we're talking relationships, whether we're talking, it doesn't matter what we're talking, okay? Because everything is just a reflection of your inner world. So if you want somebody that's gonna love you, then you need to learn to love yourself, right? If you're gonna deal with toxic relationships, and again, this is just me channeling information, so I definitely have deeper compassion to go into all this. I just can only fit so much into my videos, right? So the door to romance. So whatever's happening, why can you not connect to love? Because you do not realize that you are love. You're looking for love, but you are love. So you're looking for yourself, really. Like, how can I show up, right? And then we have the 33 here for that as well, right? And so 33 is a 6, like 3 plus 3 is 6, right? And so that's, again, bringing us back to our choice point of, is this material, is this spiritual, where's my focus, where's my energy? And then 33 is also a master number, okay? So keep that in mind. And then the 5th chakra, Archangel Gabrielle. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So this is, again, truth. Truth is being fucking awakened within us right now. The truth of our relationships, the truth of our finances, the truth of our anxieties, the truth of our contracts, the truth of our jealousies, the truth of our insecurities, the truth of, like, do you have a strategy? Do you not have a strategy? What's your strategy gonna be? Where are you taking action? Are you being grateful? Are you appreciating everything that comes and goes in your life? Are you you know, getting like attached to everything that comes in, right? Because you just can't. So let's get one more card from this deck. And this is so juicy. Oh, 2. Okay, so we have the 2nd chakra of Archangel Ariel. Okay, and it's reversed. And then we have hostilities. Okay, so this is gonna be guiding me to talk to you guys about how we hold trauma in our body. Okay, so when you're manifesting, we manifest, like, all of our creation comes from our sacral chakra. Okay, this is where babies are born. This is where it comes from. Men have this energetic chakra as well, right? And even though they don't have a womb, they still energetically have a chakra, because this is where they create from, right? So it's saying that there's being hostilities that are trapped within your body. So as you're going through this is why it's so important to be gentle with yourself, right? To be connected to your heart, because this is not easy to clear. This is not a simple task, but you are strong enough, you are capable, and you will overcome. But you're holding things. So maybe there's some sexual clearing that needs to be done within your own body. So you can even just put your hands over your womb space and say, I clear all energy that it is not in alignment with pure unconditional love any longer. And you can keep saying that over and over until you feel this release of energy. And you can call in Archangel Ariel, it says, Ariel, because she works with the chakra as well. I just want to see real quick like what the reverse of that card is all about. So intimacy and creativity. So the reversed of the second chakra is when this card is reversed, you may find that your creativity is being blocked. If this is the case, you might need to take more risks and open up to new and different ideas. Go inward to find the feelings that may be causing this blockage. Call upon Ariel to help you release old fears and self limitations. Affirm that you are open to Spirit's love and creative inspiration. This card reverse can also signal problems with intimacy of all kinds and issues of sexual intimacy in particular. Visualize Ariel spinning a beautiful light in your second chakra, calming and healing the energy there. Know that real closeness can be both safe and comfortable for you, and that you deserve a depth of sharing in your relationship. So the affirmation, my second chakra is open to its perfect healthy state. I am creative and self-nurturing, more and more comfortable with the gentle waves of intimacy coming my way. Oh, okay, that makes so much sense, right? It makes sense. I don't even need to explain it, hopefully, now, where we have hostilities and this chakra reverse, right? So we're holding a lot of our grief, our pain, our suffering in our sacral chakra, okay? So bring awareness to that as you're going through. If you're a woman and you bleed, this is your perfect time to set the intention to release all of this, okay? We naturally have this purification system within us, right? To clear out our healing center. Our healing center, there you go, to clear out our sacral chakra, okay? Which is where we create from. So if you're holding hostilities, jealousy, envy, different things like that, you will not attract beautiful, loving, open relationships. It's just how the universe works, right? So that was beautiful. Wow. Okay, which one am I being guided to? We're gonna get some fairies and then I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna go probably eat. I'm kind of hungry, to be honest. Just hit me in the last like 2 minutes. All right. So, yeah, I never even lit my incense. So let's do that real quick. Before I do this, I'm going to light this incense and we're going to set the intention today that whatever is not serving us is being released. So this will burn for the next hour after I'm done this video, and all that is not serving us will be released. And then let's light the sage right off of the incense. Okay. It's purifying. Because I gave a lot of information, guys, and I want to say sorry, but I'm not. In the sense that, like, it's just time, right? It's just time. And on the bottom of this deck, we have Rise Above, Problems. Okay, so it's like if we want to play small, if we want to be afraid of the truth, if we want to beat around the bush, that's how we end up in a world like that we're living in right now, where we are manipulated and controlled. So what we have to do is acknowledge, to rise above the problems, figure out like how, have a strategy, where's your action, what contracts do you have in place. And by the way, this contract card was reversed. I don't know if I said that, I must have, but I'm being drawn to it again. So it's reversed. So contracts are being lifted right now. Like, this is huge purging happening right now, okay? That's why all of this is happening because contracts are being dissolved. The divine feminine can rise. Perfect. Problem resolved and make music. Nice. So problem resolved and then make music. That's just meaning create. Be creative. I mean, I play music, so I would make music, but there's other ways that you can be creative, right? So it's just confirmation. Look, problem resolved. Start creating. Because if we are not going to engage in this old paradigm of fear and scarcity and lack and suffering and pain, then we have to start creating a new one. And in order to create a new one, we must heal our hostilities, heal the aspects of ourselves that are jealous, hostile, that are in lack, that have these problems. And once we heal that, then we start creating from a pure space. Well, then what kind of world do you want to live in, right? What kind of things do you want to experience? What kind of connections do you want to have, right? And then you start creating from that space instead of your doubt, your worry, your fear, your lack. See, letting go of your doubt, your worry, your fear, your lack, letting go. I now release my doubts, my worries, my fears, my lacks, my doubts, my worries, my fears, my lacks. I now release them. They have no power. They have no control over me. And then dreams coming true, and it's reversed, so you guys don't believe me, and that's okay. I think this girl's a nutter. No, just kidding. But dreams coming true, okay? And it was reversed, so it's like, what is blocking you from believing in your dreams coming true, right? Which I've already told you, it's your limiting beliefs. It's all aspects of yourself awakening to your true self. Love it, because that's what's blocking you from your dreams coming true, is awakening to your true self, like who you really are. Like, you are the divine embodied, right? So what does that even mean? And then environmental awareness. So how do you come out of these situations? Is having that environmental awareness, mentally, emotionally, physically. So what's going on around you? What is influencing you? And one more card to kind of... Oh, nice. New location and vacation. Nice. New location and vacation. So what I'm kind of getting for this is like new location just in consciousness, in awareness, okay? And then vacation is reversed. So you're struggling to relax into this new awareness, which is totally fair because I just bombarded you with like a lot of truth bombs, right? But you are heading to a new location, and it is going to be a very enjoyable energy after we get through. And it's reversed. The vacation card's reversed, right? And so that's like showing me like, again, that you don't even feel like you deserve to feel good. You don't even feel like you deserve to release all of this pain and suffering. And I promise you that you do. You definitely deserve it. And then here, sexuality. So then here you go. This is the other thing, is that these powers that are in power, they've manipulated our sexuality to a fucking, oh my god, like so insane. Like, I used to just feel uncomfortable being a woman, like having a body, having breasts, having a, you know, let's say a vagina, a yoni, whatever word you want to put on it, right? Even just the fact that I don't even want to say the word vagina, like, why? Like, what the fuck, you know? So releasing all of the pain and suffering, and there, yeah, we already had it, guys. We already had it with the sacral chakra, okay? Sacral chakra and hostility. So we're now releasing all of the pain and suffering, and also, you can use sexual energy to heal your body as well. You can look into Tantra. Peace of mind. See, guys, peace of mind. There are so many fucking tools out there that are here to help you. There are so many beings here that are here to guide you. You just have to start asking and be open to receiving. And look inside yourself. That's how we're going to end it today, guys. You got to go within. All things that are happening outside are out of your control, out of your power. We cannot do anything about that. So we need to go inside ourselves. We need to heal, reclaim aspects of ourselves that we've lost in time and space, in different lifetimes, in this lifetime. and we need to take it back. Go within. This is how we heal the world. Translucent Truth Yoga's little motto is inner yoga for outer peace, meaning you have to go within and heal these aspects in order for us to really anchor heaven on earth. Then we have body movement, just caught my eye. Okay, so move your body, get into your body, thank your body, nourish your body, the whole 9 yards. Move your body so that you can move this trauma out of you. And then full circle, this was on the bottom, so rise above problems, which is exactly what was on the bottom when I first got the deck out. Wow. Okay, guys, so this incense burning for us, this incense is releasing all contracts that are not in alignment with raising our vibration, with higher consciousness, with love, with universal consciousness, okay? So I'm just going to play these bowls real quick. Give you one more little taste. You guys have an amazing week. I'm sending you guys so much love, and if you want to come and see me at the shop, 4183 Petrolia Line, we're gonna start sound baths very, very soon. I can't wait to hold this beautiful space for everybody as I step into my power and help other people step into theirs. We create a ripple in the universe, and it is felt, it is known, I promise you. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for dedicating your lifetime to doing this amazing, deep spiritual work and taking this beautiful path. I'm sending you so much love. Namaste. Have a beautiful week. Bye.